Hello model car fans, welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week I want to feature this 69 Javelin kit here from Johan. It's one of my holy grail kits. You've seen my video where I'd featured this one that I built up from many resin parts, pieces from a promo, and two bodies that I bought off of eBay. That was a really big project and took a lot of work to do it. But since then I had picked up a unbuilt mint kit, which is this box. And I'm teasing you with this second box here. Actually, a long time ago when I was building this, somebody was reproducing the boxes. And so this, even though it's a shrink wrapped kit box and everything, this is a reproduction. This is empty. There's nothing in this one. But I'm just kind of, you know, I've had it a long time, and it's pretty much a photocopy of the original kit, but that one is an original kit. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the contents of an original kit and show you what was included so that you can build it. And so I'll get into that, but I'll get this out of the way. You know, I love the AMC story and what was going on with them at the time. So we'll move this a little bit, tilt that down, and we'll get to focusing on the kit. And here's the face, the box art here. As you can see, this is an original from 1969. It hasn't been reissued. Wish it would, but it doesn't happen. There's all the custom parts. Full competition engine, fuel pump, they got all this stuff is in this box. Custom front end, custom rear end. The stock car is in there as well. And there's just the end cap. And here's a lot of the more of the race parts that are in here. And then this end cap's exactly the same. And there's nothing on the bottom. And then this is a faithful reproduction of that, of all the stuff in there. So I'll leave that in the background as I pull this stuff out of here. So we'll open this box here. And then we'll start with, I got the tires bagged, did that on purpose. Here are the funny car tires, right here. And they're actually pretty nice. I do intend to someday build this kit, so it's kind of sitting here. And it wasn't easy to come by, but when this kit became available, I ended up jumping on it. As like I said, it's a holy grail, and when you really enjoy a kit, you tend to forget, you know, some of the value or whatnot that goes along with it. But there's the original tires, which I may or may not use these. I really don't like the white lines on these as much. I prefer the red lines. But Model Haus makes a tire that fits there really well, and you can paint the red line. I showed that in another video. Here's the glass. So I got some of this stuff individually wrapped so that it doesn't get damaged. But yeah, there's the glass, which just fits all the 68 through 70, but it's a little different for the 71 and later. And here is the taillight, which actually says Javelin right in there. You can see it right there. And this is the lens for the custom. So those are in there. Some of this stuff over here. Alright, now we get to the body, which is kind of slid together. And I wish I had started with the mint body on that other one, but I didn't have this kit at that time. But here's the 69 body, which has the SST emblem here, the Javelin script up here on the pillar, then the 390 emblem here. And of course there's the back. And a lot of times some of these are broken right here, but this one is not. And I've seen some with broken pillars. The Javelin script and everything. This one does have a glue mark or a tire mark right here, which that's an easy fix, but it's there. And then of course that piece you remove. Then the interior tub, which the 69 had the headrest. The 68 interior tub does not have headrest, but everything else is molded exactly the same. The shifter, the pedals for the manual tranny. It's all very nicely done, but simply done, which is the Johan way. And here's the chassis with all the molded in exhaust. And for some reason I see a lot of these where these are broken. They're easy to replace if they are broken. And nothing's glued in here because I've seen someone there. I've got a couple more rebuilders as well. It's, like I said, it's kind of a holy grail kit for me. So for the longest time, if I ran into one, I grabbed it. This is the chassis piece that goes in the body for the funny car. Here's all the funny car parts, the custom front valance and rear valance. Here's the engine, a lot of the engine parts. One of the cylinder heads has fallen off, but it's in there. And here's the intake and distributor. And what cracks me up on some of these Johan kits, if you notice, there's no numbers molded in anywhere on the tree. They're just on the tree. You just got to figure out what they are and follow the directions. But I'll get to the instructions here in a little bit. We'll set that one down. Here's the next tree. We got the hood with the 69 only, which is, this is a Go package, the scoops. Not all 69 Javelins came with that, but it was part of the Go package. Grill, valve covers, then all of the stuff here, chassis, the brake booster, firewall, and radiator support. Air cleaner, which this air cleaner really isn't correct, but that's what's in it. Actually, I think this air cleaner is a little more correct for the 69. Then you got the rear disc brake calipers for the race car, the stock dash, another wheel. The wheels are kind of all over the place. You got the fan and the battery. But most of those parts are still on the tree. Here's more of the race parts. There's the shorter, or the longer chassis of the two. The AMX has the race car too, but the chassis is a little bit shorter. Then there's the plate there where the race seat goes. So it's a race interior, here's the race seat. You got the headers right here. One of the wheel backs. The other wheel back's fallen off, but it's in there. And then more of the roll cage and the rear end for the race car. So it's got a completely separate chassis. So there's pretty much almost two cars in here. You almost need a second body. That's really all you need. Here's the other wheel back. And then all the chrome. I got it in a Ziploc bag here, but here's all the chrome. Let's get this off of here. And the race wheels, which these spokes are often broken. There's the stock wheels, the shifter for the stock rear bumper. These roll wheelie bars here. Then the big fat meats for the back, and all these other parts, the blower parts here. A lot of the race suspension parts here for the front suspension, the rear suspension, the shocks for the front, the valve covers, and then the custom headlights right there. Then the grills for front and rear, the custom ones. This one goes behind the taillight, or in front of the taillight lens right here. And then that one's the grill in there. So there you kind of see those parts. Sorry, I kind of veered down a little bit as I'm not really looking at the camera, but all of these parts. This is the front bumper, as it fell off the tree, but there's the front bumper. And the plus inside here, those are often broken, so very careful with those. But once the grill insert is in there, it's much harder, but I've seen those broken. A couple of mine have come that way. We'll wrap that back up. And some of the other parts. Here's the steering wheel, that's floating around in the box. Here's that missing cylinder head. A couple more of the front wheel backs right there, or stock wheel backs, whether they're stock or race car. This one's got a really nice set of decals. I don't know if they're usable, but they're in the bag here. I put them in the bag to keep them. They do reproduce these, so there is somebody that sells these in reproduction. So they're out there. And then the instructions, which I always got a kick out of these. This is the original instructions, where everything is numbered on here, but there are no numbers on any of the trees. So it's kind of funny that they went that far to number everything, but the trees don't have any numbers. So there's all the race parts. And then the instructions, they unfold kind of funny. So it's kind of more of a scroll when you do it. So there's the second section, the third section, all the race parts, then the body. And then you keep going, and there's the engine for stock and custom, putting the stock interior together, the stock chassis. So the back side is all pretty much all the stock stuff, final assembly, and then the roll, or the rest of the chassis as you put it together. So there's all of that in here. But like I said, it's a kit that I've really lusted after and wanted for the longest time. And every now and then one becomes available, or they pop up. So I had gotten this one, gotten a decent deal on it. I mean, I did pay for it, but you tend to forget how much you pay for something if you really enjoy it, because the joy comes after. But that's my story on this particular car. And even though I did a lot of work to restore that one that I did in red that you had seen, that was a lot of work. And I did cast, there's some of the parts that I have extra. There's the air cleaner, the fan belt, the more correct intake manifold, the water pump. These are pretty much all the parts. The oil pan, the carburetor, the water pump itself, which is separate from this front cover piece, and then the radiator hoses, because all of these are pretty much in the SC Rambler kit, and I like these parts, and they're a little bit more accurate than the engine that is actually provided in this kit, because this kit actually comes with the 66 and earlier, 67 and earlier motor parts. They didn't change any of that. They pretty much came right from the Rambler. So those are the parts that they throw in here. But I figured I had this kit, and it's unbuilt and mint, so I figured I would show it off to you guys, as you guys really seem to respond and like seeing these vintage kits that you really don't get to see every day, and get a good look at all the contents in them, because some of them are really nice as far as what they provide and what they give you, and this is no exception. It's one of those kits where they go for a lot of money now, but you can kind of see why. They're actually a pretty well done kit, especially for considering this was from 1969 and from a small manufacturer like Johan. Figured I would show it off and you guys would enjoy it. So thank you for tuning in and subscribing and everything. I really appreciate it, and all your comments. And let me know if you like stuff like this. I don't have a whole lot of very vintage kits, especially unbuilt like this, that are on the tree. I've got many of them that need to be restored. I like showing those off as well, but they're not in mint shape like this one. But let me know what your thoughts are. If you like seeing some of the projects that I have that have not been built or restored, I've done a couple of the restoration candidates. It's kind of hard to show those because a lot of you want to see them finished or built or watch me build them, and I've got so many of them. But I could probably do all the kudos from MPC. But let me know in your comments what you think of all of that. And I appreciate you watching and everything and all your comments. And you guys, you have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll see you next weekend.